It's all set. It's working. That was Johnny Jr., everybody. All right, guys, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is a special, less than late night snack time with the Scoville Squad. We should have some people joining us in a moment. There we go. My man, Jeremy Bell, Peppers, and Kentucky Living. How are you, man? Man, I need my glasses. Charlie Mullins, you know what, dude? I'll tell you what. Hold on a minute. I need to get you a wrench. How do I do that? I'm going to work on getting you a wrench, Charlie. Good to see everybody. Hi, Carolyn. Gila Guy. The Gila Guy. Mike Fiedler, good to see you. Sergeant Don, good to see you, Floyd. Nice to see everybody here. Let's see here. There you go. Now it's in real time. Wasn't in real time there. It's good to see everybody. All right. Got Travis Fowler here. Kevin, good to see you. Let's try one more time and see if I can get Charlie. Man, I'm trying to get you a wrench, Charlie. It's not letting me for some reason. I'm working on it. Greg F., good to see everybody here. Hi, Chris Puzon, Dark Witness. Let's see. Kenny Stewart says, evening, Squire. What treats we in store for this evening? By the way, from Aberdeen, Scotland. Very cool. Here's what we got. By the way, I just had dinner from Jack in the Box. I don't think you've ever seen me drink anything. It's a little sweet, but it's a Coke. It's a little syrupy, but I'm drinking something. Here's what we got in the store today. Chili Viking sent me some tinctures. Now, one of them is a golden Primatali, which I've reviewed already. I already did this one. A bit unsure of what this one is. Doesn't look real dark, so I'm not sure what it is. But I'm going to have some tincture. We'll do some Q&A, and we'll talk a little bit. Drew V, good to see you. ICA, good to see you. Caged Aquatics. Good to see you, Keith. All right. Good to see you all here. I like doing these lives, man. I got away from it for a while just because things got busy. I don't know. We should take a vote. I think we should do this more often. Smells super hot. All right, you guys. So from Chili Viking, not sure what it is, but some tincture for you. Here's looking at you, kid. It is a Coke, Jeremy. I'm not much of a Coke guy. I never ever buy Coke in the store and bring it home and put it in the fridge. Just not something I do. I just don't drink Coke that much. Rhett Griffith is here. Good to see you, Rhett. But like fast food stuff, I get that. Good to see everybody here. So this is pretty hot here. Kind of reaperish in flavor. I'm not sure what it is. Very hot though. What's the hottest pepper I've eaten? Mike Fiedler asks. 2 seasons in a row, it's been the Primatali, which is a 7-pot Primo that they've crossed with a Primatali. Excuse me, a Fatali, and it comes up with a Primatali, and it's not even close. Like, it's noticeably wicked hot. And I've had, it's not just me. I wasn't sure if it was for a while because I know people that can eat reapers, but a ghost pepper will destroy them. So I wasn't sure if that was my situation where I can eat just about anything, but Primatali's wrecked me. So I know a lot of other chili heads who've eaten them, and they kind of concur. It's the hottest pepper. It really is. ICA, thank you for, you love the videos. Thank you for watching them. Scotch Sonnet, Scotland. Good to see you. We got Andy Paul from the UK here. My throat's on fire. Very nice to see you guys. Lawn Dog, good to see you. Let's see. Today I had a little lesson. I had to give a little lesson on what tinctures are. Brought out a bottle from you and some time ago. They were tipped out. They were tripped out about the dropper. Listen, anytime when you take something with a dropper, you're like, "What are you doing?" It's almost more like you're taking tincture versus consuming it. But it's definitely interesting. It goes right to your ears. I want to show you guys a few things. This is going to be the first challenge I do when I get to Australia. It's psychotic, and I haven't done it here in the States. Bree sent it to me. It's ridiculous. It comes from Uncle Mungo's. Pure capsaicin, 16 mil. I gotta show it to you. I showed it on a video once, but chances are nobody was on that video. Wait till you see this. First of all, the production quality of it is insane. There's the label on the front. All right. Wait until you see how this thing is put together. I can't remember how to open this thing. Oh, here we go. This, that's your warning. Easy instructions for use, it says. Read instructions, safety, right? It's got a jar of 16 million pure capsaicin crystals. That's enough to kill an army. I'm not even joking you. That stuff goes a long way. That is a lot of cap crystals. It comes, people, with a legit syringe. Not just a plastic job, but this is a metal syringe. For real. Steel. I don't know if you can see it. It's a legit syringe. What you do, it's a spooky challenge. You take some of this ethanol, pull it into the syringe. You pull the top off of this. This is just like the movies, man. When I do it, it's going to be crazy. You stick it in there and pull it out. Then you dilute it in the cap crystals. Is that not scary? Like, for real? Like, it's one of those, like, anytime you do capsaicin crystals in a challenge, it just commands a lot of respect. But when I saw the syringe, I'm like, jeez. The reason I thought about it is that the dropper, anytime you pull out a dropper, you're like, what are you doing? But that one's even worse. I've got, we had 3 of these that we auctioned off the other night. This one's going to Brandon. It's already signed. This one is going to Matt. And this one here is going to Greg, who I think is in the stream right now. So those are going out Monday. I've got 2 that are unopened. I'm going to leave them closed. They're wrapped up the way I got them. They both have a matching card, so they'll be numbered with a coinciding card. I'm going to do a giveaway right now. Got to figure out how I'm going to do that. I'll think about it for just a second while I take some questions. Do you have any questions? Oh, Bree's here. Bree, there you are, honey. How you feeling? Hope you're feeling okay. Guys, on Thursday, you got to come check it out on Thursday. I'm debuting a new guitar. It's kind of crazy that I even have a new guitar. But I'm going to give you guys everybody. There's probably, I can't tell how many people are in the chat right now because on the screen I'm using it doesn't show me. But I'm going to leave everybody here a sneak preview. You aren't going to hear it, but I'm going to show it to you. It's one of the craziest guitars that I've ever seen. And I'm not kidding. It's a guitar by a company called Close. There's a few things that are odd about it. The first thing you'll notice right away is it's got a headstock that is teeny. It looks like a Dove bar. I call it the Dove bar headstock. But what's cool about it is the entire neck and headstock is one piece carbon fiber. It's the strangest thing. It's got probably not too many guitar people on. I'm going to do a review of it for the company is Close. You got to check them out. It's a very, very, very cool guitar, and it sounds like for people that in the know, like it's. I own a few. Like I can tell the difference in sound, obviously, between my Gibson and this one. But to somebody who doesn't really know, I'm telling you, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference in sound. It feels amazing, and it's just about indestructible. It came to me. I gotta show you this. When it arrived in this. That was it. Got here. I opened it up. I was like, "This guitar here." The neck comes off, and just so it comes with a travel backpack, so you can travel with it. Coolest guitar in the world. Haven't touched my other ones since I got this one. The brand new one, Greg, is a Close. It's called Close. It's made. They're made in. They're made in Utah. All right. It has locking tuners, which makes changing the strings really, really easy. It's got Fishman Fluence pickups where they sort of sound like Gibson PAFs, but it has the ability to split them, so you can go with a single coil. A couple different phrasing you can do with it. It's really neat. Let me see here. Good to see all you guys. Let's see, Gila Guy. Even have a PVTL6 I got from Randy Jackson. No way. But the fretboard is too wide for my stubby fingers. I like a wide fretboard. I have several Gibsons, and one of them's got a fretboard that's so wide it is ridiculous. And flat like a board. No, I mean, just not sure how I like it. I like it, but it's not my favorite. Aaron, don't worry. Or Adam, don't worry. Good to see you, man. Mind Eye. Guitars are for to hear. Yeah, I'll play it on. You aren't going to believe the way it sounds. It's very, very unique. It's a very trippy guitar. The Les Paul that I like the most is 11 pounds, 6 ounces. I swear to you, it is a battle axe. This thing is 7 pounds. It is crazy light, which makes it really, really comfortable to sit around and play with, you know. The drag is it's got the Fishman Fluence pickups are active pickups, so they require a battery. So I used to sit around with my guitar by app and like for 6 hours, if I'm watching TV at night, for like 3 or 4 hours at a time, and just kind of play it and noodle back and forth. I can't really do it with this because even if I'm not playing it, it's eating the battery up. So I only want to turn it on when I'm playing it. So that's something I'm getting used to. But any new products on the horizon? Why, Patrick Wolf, good to see you. Good thing you asked that. Yeah, I mentioned this the other day on the last live stream. I believe I did. We're coming out with a Tube of Terror 2.0. And for those of you that have peanut allergies, you have nothing to fear with this. They are not peanuts, which is very cool. It's going to be hotter than the Tube of Terror peanuts. It's going to be a rough one. You just hit the trigger button. I really want to do the hydroponic gardening. Really style of garden. Hydroponic gardening is pretty trippy stuff. You know, I've often wondered if there's anybody in the know that's watching this that can answer this for me. Here's what I'm wondering. I'm not sure if it's true, but rumor has it if you stress a pepper out, they tend to be hotter. That's often why late season peppers tend to be hotter than early season peppers, because there's a lot of sun, not enough water, and it's just the plants do everything can to survive. So the idea is that the thought is that it creates more capsaicin to protect the seeds and give the pot a chance to procreate, the plant to procreate. So if you grow hydroponically, like I know people that grow that will stress their plants out intentionally at the end of the season. They'll stop watering them. You know, if they have them in pots, they'll leave them out and give them more sunlight. So I know people that do that intentionally. How would somebody stress a plant if they're hydroponically grown? I mean, they're in water. You can't really yank them out. Hey, you're going to deal with it for the day. I don't know how that would work. I'm not really sure. What actually is a Scoville? Basil, it's a method of Wilbur Scoville invented a technique where you add water. Essentially, you're adding water to a sample of powdered pepper. And then what happens is how many ounces of water it takes before the test subject can taste that water can no longer detect any heat. And that is, I'm making it really simple. But that in essence is how the Scoville scale works. No relation here. Just the same name. Burning Umi, good to see you. Dark Witness 94. I got 17 Carolina Reaper plants growing right now. Can't wait to eat some fresh ones. Boy, that's a hot pepper. It's a great one. Does Zuni Pepper send products to Europe? MOHAMMED, BAKAN. I don't know if Louisiana sells seeds or their products, to Europe. I'm not quite sure. But you can just best way to check it out is just to go into the cart and see if they allow you to. I would guess. I'm not really sure. I hate to give you a bad answer. I just don't know. Brian Haffey, good to see you. Scott Houston, good to see you. Scotch Sonnet. When are you eating the canned haggis? When you say haggis, it sounds like you're clearing your throat. It's at the office. This week for sure. I don't know what day, but I promise you this week. Yeah, probably. Lawn dog as far as changing the nutrients, but you wouldn't be able to stress it with respect to stressing it with lack of water, because I've seen where they're like literally sitting in, you just see the roots because they're sitting in fluid. You can't really stress them by depriving of water if that's what they're sitting in. I don't think. I don't know anything though. Daryl Wetherell, good to see you. I can do that. Doing a video sometime. Difference between mash, puree. It's really a funny thing. You can find examples throughout the industry where people are mislabeling stuff. So that'd probably be a good one. I was also thinking about doing another. So you want to be a chili head. It's a good one to do. Hi, Tommy Kessler. That's a great one. And it's because every single year there are more people eating peppers this year. There are people that are watching this show this year that are eating peppers that watched this show last year that didn't eat peppers. I'm sure of it. So maybe that again. Mike Hepner, my man, dude. Good to see you. Remember when I asked you a while ago what would happen if you add something in the soil of the pepper? I do remember that. I do remember that. It's something worth looking into. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you and the family, man. Man, Mike Hepner. I was with Mike in Belgium. It was right after the third meeting with the Chili Queen. And I ate a lot of really, really hot peppers. And it was like the most unbelievable endorphin rush I had ever experienced in my life to this day. Never felt anything like that. I was walking down a hallway. I can't remember now if Mike was in front of me or behind me, because I don't remember. But I was walking down the hallway. I swear to you, I felt like I was gliding. I could not feel my feet hitting the ground. It felt like I was just gliding. And then I don't know if you guys ever got chills when you eat too many peppers. If you're at a pepper contest, you get chills afterwards. I felt like I was 30 degrees on the inside. I was vibrating. Man, that was fun. That was crazy, Mike. Predictive Text doesn't like Scotch lingo. Miles. Predictive Text has trouble with some things, Definitely does. Patrick Wolf, Blazing Foods, California Blazing Chili Farms. Truly awesome products and books to buy from. Man, they really are. You know what? Throw Linda's Fiery Treats in there too. She's great also. Derek N. Good to see you. Yeah, you did film part of that, Mike, for sure. Yeah, I don't remember who. Were you? I think you filmed that. That whole piece. I was at a different place at the time. Swansky, love from Rhode Island. Man, I've spent a lot of time in Rhode Island. For real. Hang on a minute. Going a little fast for me here. Slow down and catch up here. That's awesome. Lawn dog. The other day I brought bought my local mechanic and his team some pizzas from the wonderful work they did. What a good guy you are, Londo. And of course, brought some of his favorite sauces. They are fans. It's very, very cool. Point Blank Pepper Company. Man, oh man. Oh, you know what? I'll save it for tomorrow. Doing a really cool late night snack time tomorrow night with a product from him. Brand new one's very cool. Good to see you. Let's see. Any more questions, you guys? John Bowman. Yo, been watching all your videos. Thank you. Appreciate you watching them. I mean, there are now, you guys. It's getting out of hand. I need like a 12-step program for this. It's getting crazy. 3,300 videos. Nuts. You know, I'm not thinking about retiring at all, but like when the channel started, a year, like first year, you aren't even thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it now, but the channel's 5 years old. I've been doing this like pretty hardcore for 5 years straight. Not that I'm thinking about quitting. I'm not. I'm having too much fun. I don't think anybody in my spot would quit. I have way too much fun, but it still makes you look down the road a little bit. Uh-oh. Marco Moreno. Give me a second here. New subscriber, new fam. Didn't really know I was a chili ad. I always love this stuff. Put hot sauce and chilies on everything. Had no idea it was a community. Great content, bro. Thank you, Marco. You guys want? I think I've said this probably in 3 or 4 videos. Want to hear a confession? It's really funny. The first time someone said to me the chili community, I out loud giggled in their face and laughed. I said, "Community? What are you talking about?" True story. But it is. It's an amazing community worldwide. Awesome people. I gotta figure out how can I give these two away. I can't just like pick a name randomly. It's kind of crazy. Let me think what I can do. I don't know. You know what? I gotta think of a better way to give these away. I'll think about it tonight. I'll give these away tomorrow night. You guys think I should do these live streams a little bit more often than normal? That I have been, I mean. Dark Witness 94. What pepper would you recommend to eat or grow? All of them. Here's the thing. To me, listen, I'm a pepper aficionado. I love peppers. I like trying new peppers. Even if it's pepper I can't stand, I want to gag. I'm thrilled that I had an opportunity to try it. I just want to try as many peppers on the planet as I can. Left Eye Pat. Love you, dude. Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining. So eat all of them. That said, don't hurt yourself. It's a ladder. You don't want to try to get on the top step when you first start out. It'll scar you. You may not want to do it anymore. So you can climb that ladder gently without really, really hurting yourself. Just start small. That's what I'm saying. As far as growing, I've never grown. Bree and I are going to grow a lot. We already have if you knew, Jimmy Pickles has sent me so many amazing seeds from pods, peppers that I really, really, really like. So we're going to grow a bunch. So it's going to be neat. Dude, I want to get that burning ear rush, Michael Patton says. Yeah, it's strange. Gets on the inside. It's like your ears, but it's on the inside. Sometimes it feels like you're taking off on a plane. You know that weird altitude, like 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet, where sometimes that happens. It's strange, but it's healthy. It's good for you. Honestly, it really is good for you. They're legal. They taste great. No drawbacks. It's an interesting feeling, Michael Patton. He said it would be a great feeling. It really is. I think one of the strangest feelings, and a lot of people in the thread have felt it. Don't say things like that, Terry Jones. Quit it, man. Thank you for saying it, but don't say things like that. Living chili head is what I am. One of the most unique experiences somebody can have with eating peppers, because really, when you're eating really hot peppers, what are we talking about? We're talking about pain, right? When we say, what's your heat scale? We're saying, how much does it hurt? What's your pain, right? To have your pain go from where you're it's starting to make me confused, I can't think straight, to have it go from here to all of a sudden you're looking for it, what happened? To have that happen to you just like that. To have your pain go from 8 or 9 to 2, like that. That's the most. I can tell. I just describe. You can't describe it and do it justice. Anybody who's ever had that feeling, it's just the strangest feeling in the world. That's what I'm telling you guys. If you have no idea how like pain relief. The strongest medicine I will take, I have one lying around. It's BC powder, aspirin, or Panadol, which is great. It's Australian. It's like Australians aspirin. I don't take, what I use for pain control is peppers. And man, you need to know that years ago, I went to a pain management clinic for a while because I was in so much agony. I just don't do it anymore. A lot of great benefits to peppers. Joe says, you moving to Australia? I am. Don't want to say anything. I don't want to ruin it. But I've heard that they're going to start opening up for all travel, not just documented employees and passported people, things of that nature. So I may be able to get in there. It'll happen. What'd you miss? Nothing. Man, I just chugged a whole bottle of plutonium while you were gone, Jeremy. Man, I can't believe you missed that. I don't think I'll do that again. Eric, back. Congratulations on finally getting the check mark, by the way. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The funny thing is, I watched this video it was about YouTubers, which caught my attention. It was on YouTube about YouTubers. It was talking about one of the pitfalls that happens to YouTubers is that they'll hit a milestone, be it 10,000, 25, 50, 75, whatever, or 100. They'll hit a milestone and then take their foot off the gas and just coast. Well, I was never doing it. My motives aren't like other people's motives. I'm just doing this because I'm having fun doing it. That's really it. If I wasn't, I'm saying from the beginning, it's no longer fun for me. I'll kind of just fade to black. But I'm still having a lot of fun at it, That's why so many people quit, is that they have these expectations, and when it doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen quick enough, they get frustrated. Eric, I had the pleasure over the summer to meeting the guy from Only Burns Twice Chili's. Very cool. He's a good dude. Damon. Got a couple of great sauces from him. Destroy me with chocolate Primatali. Yeah, Danny's pretty cool dude. I spent some time with him. Grow some hot stuff. Greg F., the first endorphin rush was from the Tube of Terror. Did you experience that, Greg, where your pain was like kind of surreal, all of a sudden just sort of went away on you? It's incredible. I remember the first time you did plutonium sitting at your desk. Yeah, it was a kitchen table. I wasn't ready for that. I don't think you really, I trained really, really hard for the last time I did it. But the first two times, I really wasn't ready for it. I really suffered for it. Man, it's going too fast. We're going to slow that thing down. Thank you, Michael Patton, for the kind words, man. Don't do it, Johnny does. What is the next skydive, Johnny? Says Darren. Good question. I had one planned. I had it booked, planned for New Zealand 2 years ago. Bree and I were going to both jump together. That was the first flight we ever had canceled because of COVID. And I booked another flight straight to Australia, and I was going to jump again there, and that flight was canceled. So I'm stopping. I'm not making any plans until I get there. But the next one will be in Australia. And the cool thing is, I've done 2 jumps where I've eaten peppers, and both times I happen to pick lousy places to jump. Scenically, as far as scenery, it was beautiful. Look at Colorado from 12,000 feet, gorgeous. Same thing with Reno, Sierra. It was just amazing. So visually, it was beautiful. But both of those runways are essentially at mile high. In fact, the one in Colorado was called Mile High Skydiving. So the runway's at mile high. So you're already shafted at 5,280 feet of skydiving because of where the runway sits, because you're so high above sea level. You know what I mean? Similar thing with Reno. I jumped in Sierra Tahoe, I don't know where it was. Same thing, really high altitude. Just sitting on the runway, it's a high altitude. Now in Australia, on the runway, it's sea level. So I'll be able to jump at 18,000 feet instead of 13. Or 12 or 13. So it's going to be a much, much more fun. So I'm going to do, I actually have it planned out. I know what I'm going to do already. I can tell you that will ruin the surprise. Probably can't do it. That's what's going to make it fun. I'm going to fail. I'm sort of setting it up that it's almost an impossible challenge. It's a two-part challenge, obviously. The first part is before the parachute opens. So we eat as much of one thing while we're free-falling. And then once the parachute opens, go to the second phase and start eating the second part. Two different things, I'll tell you that. Two totally different food items. But it's going to be a good one. Let's see. A challenge where you brush your teeth with Carolina Reaper blood. Jamie Munoz, you sick man. I don't think I want to brush my teeth with Carolina Reaper blood. I've gargled plutonium, so you can't really get much worse than that, I don't think. It would burn your gums. When you gargle, it's just your throat's kind of raw for a while. Jesse James, the hottest pepper so far, man. Good question. Primatali. Primatali is the hottest pepper I've used so far. Break out the Les Paul Custom. Paul, I love my Les Paul Custom a lot. I haven't touched it since I got this new one. Man, I'm telling you. Thank God I don't work for Gibson. I wouldn't be able to say these things if I worked for Gibson. I feel guilty. But I'm telling you right now, to somebody who's not like a Gibson player, somebody who's really like gets it, there's no way you'd be able to tell the difference between the new one I've got and my Les Paul Custom. And the Les Paul Custom is worth. I stole it. You have to understand something. I don't have a lot of money. I stole that guitar from somebody. I didn't steal it. In fact, as soon as I bought it from the guy, he called me that same day and said, "Man, I made a mistake." I said, "What?" He said, "I sold that guitar to you way too cheap." I said, "Really?" And you gotta understand, I don't have the guitar yet. He just has my money. He could easily say, "I need another whatever." I said, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I went and looked today." He goes, "Really undersold it." He goes, I said, "Do you want more money?" I was like wincing when I asked him that, because if he said yes, I was going to have to figure out a way to come up with some more money. I said, "Do you want more money?" And he goes, "No, but here's the deal I'll make with you." He says, if you ever decide to sell it, you have to call me first. I said, "It's a deal." He's a great guy. In fact, you want to see something funny? He owns this company. The guy that owns this company, Hellfire, Merle, good friend of mine. Spent a lot of time with that guy. Bunch of places all over the country. That's where I got two of my guitars from. The custom shop and the Jimmy Page. Unos dos, with a very cool question. Hey, Johnny. Love what you do. Just curious, do you have any taste buds? And what was your first experience with chilies like? And what got you hooked? I do have tremendous taste buds. Here's one of the things. One of the great misconceptions about chilies is that when you eat hot stuff, you fry your taste buds. You really don't. That's just not true at all. In fact, the higher somebody's tolerance gets, the more you're able to taste. So I'm answering your question in those dos. So if somebody's watching the stream who's never eaten anything hot and ate a Carolina Reaper standing right next to me, I would taste, a floral, fruity pod, you know what I mean? And the person who's never eaten a pepper would not be tasting a floral, fruity pod. It wouldn't. So, because you'd be overwrought with pain so fast that you wouldn't be able to compute what you're tasting, because your taste buds are not thinking anymore. You're in fight or flight mode. You're going to shock. So, the higher your tolerance gets, the more open your taste buds are. So one could easily argue that my taste buds are far greater than somebody who doesn't eat a lot of peppers. All right, that's the first one. First experience I ever had with chilies. My dad, Papa Scoville, great guy. The first pepper I ever ate was a pepperoncini. I did this with forever with my dad. Anytime he was eating anything, I'm like, I want some. If he was drinking something, I want to try it. He was my dad. I wanted to be him. You know what I mean? The guy was. You know what? Like, I don't like being called a legend because I'm really not. That dude was a legend, man. He really was. And so he was eating some pepperoncini. I was like, man, I want to try that. And that was the first one. And then from there it just kind of went on. That's kind of how I am. Sometimes I prefer fountain Coke over like a canned Coke, but this is too syrupy. It's my favorite Bootla strain. I'm partial to the chocolate Bootla DM, which was stabilized and created by Dave Miner, just because it's huge and very, very, very hot. The other Bootla, believe it or not, would be the Chocolate Bootla RK, which is Randy Keaton from Keatley Farms. His are a little bit different, a pheno, but it's just a little more spiky and just really, 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 really hot. Those are really great Bootlas. Thanks for being here, Eric. Good to see you, dude. It is the cheese that binds us. Yeah, well, it was really funny when I started doing those cheese videos. I wanted to get my dad. I thought it would be good for my dad. Perk him up, give him something to do, and he loved cheese. I remember when I couldn't really get him to eat a pepper. He's not much of a pepperhead. So I said one day, "Listen, let's do a cheese video." He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Cheese video. Let's do a cheese video." Because you have a pepper channel. I said, "So what? People stop watching because I make a cheese video with my dad?" My dad, they're gonna love it. It'll be fine. She's like, "Yeah, if you want to." That's what started it. And then we started getting the spicy cheeses, and from there one day he's like, "Hey, let's do a sauce." We started with a barbecue sauce because that's not that hot, but there are a few spicy barbecue sauces. He actually, on 2 different videos, my dad got the hiccups from eating spicy, and it's hilarious. And I never, in 3,300 videos, I've never cursed on a video. The Netflix people put a camera on my dad, and the first thing he does is swear. It's hilarious. My dad, thank goodness, he lived long enough to see that video. But I remember when they sent, the director sent me I got to see it before they released it. And they sent it to me, they emailed it to me, and I watched it. I was just like, the first time I saw it, you have to understand, the first time I saw it was absolutely hilarious. Because I'm sitting down watching it. If you guys watched it, you know that little scene I'm talking about. But he said, I was like, I grabbed my phone, I called my mom. I went, ah. I said, "Mom, Dad swears in the video." He goes, "What video?" I said, the Netflix video. She goes, "Who cares?" He goes, she goes, "What did he say?" I told her. She goes, "Who cares?" It's pretty funny. My dad was really terrific. What a great dad he was. I was telling a story of my son today, a time where for about a couple of seconds. You guys, when you're young, the first time you get hit in the stomach and it knocks the wind out of you, I couldn't believe my dad didn't tell me about it. I was telling my son the story today, in fact. I was standing in line. It was in, you know what I'm talking about? You get hit in the stomach and you lose your wind, you're like, and you can't breathe. It's like it's the worst feeling in the world. But yeah, like now, like you're an adult, you know what it's like. But the first time that happened to me, I was in school. I think I must have been in 2nd grade. I was like a little kid. I was standing in line, getting ready to go to lunch, and this kid named Matt walked up and hit me in the stomach really hard. He was winding up. I didn't know what he was doing. I'm looking at him like, "What are you doing?" And he hit me right in the stomach. I wasn't ready for it. I just bent over it. I couldn't breathe. All the wind, like, and I remember, and I swear to you, I remember thinking, this is how I die. I get hit in the stomach at school, and I die here in a classroom. I thought I was done. I didn't know that was something that could happen. So in that moment, I remember thinking, why didn't my dad tell me this? I remember telling my dad the story, but he's like, yeah, didn't share that one with me. Vodka Studios, thank you. Appreciate it. Walker, Texas Peppers. Dude, during pandemic, you helped us get through. You're an inspiration. Man, you're helping me get through. I mean it. School is awesome. School's awesome. Man, I'll tell you what. See, I went to school in the dark ages. I'm old. Things are different now. There's cameras in classrooms. I had a teacher in 1st grade. I could no doubt get 10 people to make a video and back this up. She beat us. Not lying. She had 3 or 4 different paddles, varying lengths, sizes, and thickness, depending on what your crime was. I'm not even making this thing up. She never hit me with a paddle. Crazy enough. Never ever got hit with a paddle. Sentimental, man. Good to see you. She hit me once with a 6-foot section of guard nose. Sawed-off guard nose. I was wearing shorts, back of the leg. True story. Crazy thing is she'd beat us during the day for anything. I mean, catch her on a bad day. It was like, I'm sure she had a borderline personality. We were freaking out every day. We were like, what's she like? It was terrifying. The first 5 minutes of school was a nightmare. But at the end of the day, after traumatizing us for 6 hours, true story, we're first grade. This is first grade. I'm this big. She'd line us up when the school bus was coming, and she would kiss every one of us on the forehead before she put us on the bus. I remember telling my mom, hey man, Mrs. Pryor's beating us. She didn't believe me. Nobody believed us. It's the truth, though. It's crazy. Now she knows it's true because, grown people have said, hey, man, listen, she flogged us at school. I remember being little, trick-or-treating. They say, we go to Nancy's house. I said, Nancy who? It was her. I'm like, I'm not going. I'll wait in the car. Not having it. Terrifying. It's funny, Scott said, my dad used to tell us that getting the belt at school is for writing left-handed. And I'm left-handed. Man, my dad, here's the truth. My dad hit me a handful of times. Every time he ever hit me, I swear to you I had it coming. He probably went easy on me, but I deserved it. I just did. You know what I mean? And it's weird where we're getting now. It's a crazy day. I teach her how to pad with studs and holes. Yeah, you know what's funny? You say that, Dave Mill, with holes in it. She didn't have studs in it, but one of hers had holes in it, like a pattern of them. So she could get around on it quicker with 2 hands, man. She hit a friend of mine, my oldest friend. I met him. His mom was literally pregnant with her daughter at the same time my mom was pregnant with Sister Scoville. So they have two daughters the same age, sons the same age, more sons the same age. It's perfect timing. So I knew that kid. We were in cribs together. And he got beat one day. He wasn't good at reading when he was really little. The guy's a rock star now. I think he's in the medical field now. But he was young, and he got scared one day, and he just got flustered. She was terrifying. In his face, read! It was just awful. And he just kind of got flustered. And I swear to you, she said, where's my paddle? And I remember just sticking my head down going, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Go home and tell the story. Like, nah, it didn't happen. It did. It's crazy. Yeah, my mom, Drew, you know what my mom used on me? She had a wooden meat tenderizer. A little wooden thing. And just little spikes to tenderize meat. She'd shake. She didn't hit me with it, but she'd shake at me. And one day she was shaking at me, and I was in the kitchen stealing food while she was cooking. Notorious for that. So I grabbed it like a monkey, grabbing something before I got caught. I turned and ran, and she shook that thing at me, and the head came off. It just popped off and got me right between my shoulder blades. I got all real dramatic and made a big deal out of it. It's pretty funny. Did you get to wash your hands and go to the bathroom and regret it? Have I ever done that? Sure. Actually, I'm impervious to that now, I think. But yeah, listen, it is what it is. It happens. Here's the thing, and people don't believe this. Put on rubber gloves and handle peppers all day. It goes right through those gloves. Don't kid yourself. I swear it does. But right now, it's not that bad. I can rub my eye with my finger and I'm fine. During pepper season, I get out of the shower. I can wash my hands like this. If I touch my eye, it burns because it's literally coming out of my skin because I have so much in my system. Right now, it's the off season. So it's not so bad, but it is. Deshaun Kelly, love you, Johnny. Been here since the beginning. Man, I appreciate that. It's crazy. I remember, it's funny. Things are really different now. It's a long, strange trip it's been. You know that? Very interesting. My dad never hit me. He didn't have. The look was enough. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, worse was, man, they said I'm disappointing you. I'm like, can you just hit me, please? Just hit me a few times. Get it over with. That disappointing thing is just like, you know why? The older you get, the more that's crippling. Fortunately, I was in a really good place with my dad when he died. He was proud of me. But man, the older you get, the smarter you're. Like, the older I get, the smarter my dad has picked up like 10 IQ points since he died. Like things he said, it's like, man, he was right again. My dad was very smart. Pretty interesting. It's crazy. Dying is a drag, but being dead isn't so bad. My dad's dead now. He's in a good place. I miss him. I'm okay with that. When he died, it was like the most devastating thing. Pretty crazy. Charlie, I love you, man. Tell Mary I said hi. Thank you for stopping in. I'll figure out how to get you a wrench, bud. And Scotch Sonnet down. You need a wrench too. Seriously, dude, have your crew push for getting on hot ones in the comments. Dave Mills, listen, I appreciate you saying that. Can I tell you something? If you go back, I can, it's really funny. If I go to the comment section of on my analytics, I can type in a word. It'll pull up every single comment that ever contains that word or phrase or whatever. If I type in hot ones, there are comments that go back to 2016 where people were saying that, like, for real, way, way back. And I've met Sean Evans. But here's the thing about, I've said this, I'm never going to end up on that show. It's not going to happen. They want somebody who's really famous, and I'm not. People in the chili world know who I am, but, people that watch that show, that's a crossover show. People, more mainstream people watch that to watch their people they follow more so than chili heads that watch that. Although there is a segment of chili heads that watch that. I'm just not famous enough for that. All right. And they want someone who's going to eat it and go, start crying and weeping, and not that guy. I think it would be, listen, you guys love me. I think it would be a very, very boring show to have me on there. I eat the wings. We talk for 15 or a half hour to be over. I mean, maybe if I drank some sauce, but, a little bit of sauce of each of the wings, that would make it a little bit more exciting. But I think, to the viewer, I'm just saying, to the viewer, I don't think it would be very much fun to watch. Anyhow. He is in pepper heaven, Joe. It's interesting. It's interesting you say that. When my dad was alive, when his dad died, he found out from his brother. I found out from my brother. So same thing. His brother called him, and he didn't say, hey, listen, dude, you got to sit down. I got the most devastating news to tell you. You're not driving, are you? None of that. He calls him on the phone and says, hey, Dad's dead. That's what he said. I'm not faulting the guy. He was in shock. It was a terrible thing. My brother called me the last day of February. This month, it'll be a year. I answered the phone, and he said, hey, because I love you, Dad's in heaven. And that's how he told me. That was the most gentle, nicest way you could ever hear about something like that. I owe him for that forever. Whew, for real. You could chug every bottle. I could chug some of the bottle. I couldn't chug all of them. Here's the thing. The bomb. Couldn't chug that. The stuff's poison. Paul, you're never boring, Johnny. Thank you. Just ordered 3 tubes of cheese balls from your site to the UK. I'm scared, man. Just don't do an empty stomach, bro. For real. Yeah, Patrick Wolf, that Unga Mungo thing is psychotic, man. Isn't it? When I do it, I want like a beaker set up, stuff bubbling, tubes and stuff. I want a lab coat. That's a scary looking challenge. I mean, syringe, it comes with a syringe. Hey, Deshaun Kelly, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. We're going to go just for a couple more minutes, and we're going to wrap it up. I've kept you wonderful people enough. You know what my dad would say when we had company? He goes, listen, it's getting late. Let's go to bed and let these good people go home. That's how he'd say. Or he'd say, it's getting late. You have to go home. You can't stay here. You don't have to go to bed, but you can't stay here. Something like that. Tell the Scoville rating on the bomb. Do they lie? Here's the thing about I think they're deadly honest about the Scoville rating on the bomb. They lie about everything else, vodka. That's the truth. Everything. I bet you I have 30 bottles in that closet that claim they're the hottest sauce there is. They just aren't. Here's what you got to think about this for just a minute. If it's a natural sauce and the hottest peppers out there are Reapers, you know what they are. How is anybody having a sauce that's so much hotter than anybody else's? We're all using the same stuff. If you spike it with cap crystals, you get something hotter, but I don't know. The bomb is just... It's the disruptor. That's the reason it's in there where it's in there. It's this disruptor. If you go back and look at the history of hot ones, How many hot ones have you watched where it just turns south right there? That's the game end. That's where everything just goes, the wheels come off. It goes into the bushes as soon as they eat that. That's how it is, man. You're awesome, Patrick Wolf. Thanks, man. You can't go home, but you can't stay here. Thank you. Love your shirt about mini quads. Awesome. Yeah, man. Listen, I love him. He's a good guy. I've had some hilarious moments with Merle. Oof. Merle's a savage. He's a great guy. I really feel bad. Can I tell you something? Let me tell you how bad I'm probably telling stuff I shouldn't be telling. Know this. He's just such a good guy. Anyway, Merle sold me the custom shop Les Paul. It's pristine and perfect. And that day they made that guitar, they got it right. That's a great guitar. And he sold to me, and he realized right away he sold to me for too little. He didn't take more money. He just said to me, if you decide to sell it, send it back. About 2 weeks later, he calls me. He goes, what are you doing? You got to understand that let me preface it by telling you, he's got a guitar collection of about 150 guitars. And none of them are cheap. They're all high, most of them Gibson Les Pauls. He just has a museum at his house. So he's telling me, that's the reason I bought him. He's trying to get rid of some of his guitars. Now, I knew he had regret, like the same day he told me he sold it. He called me back and told me he realized he sold it too cheap. Didn't want more money, but he clearly had regret. So I talked to him like 2 weeks later. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? He calls me. I'm like, hey, how are you? He goes, what are you doing? I was literally playing guitar. I'm like, playing guitar right now. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I just bought a new guitar. I'm like, man, you're trying to sell guitars. What are you buying guitars from? What'd you buy? What'd you get? I figured it must be something crazy, right? He goes, I bought a Les Paul Custom to replace the one I sold you. I said, what? He goes, yeah, same one. Same thing, same year. I'm like, you're kidding me. He goes, no, after I sold it, I wish I had. I'm like, man, I feel horrible now that I have that guitar, so I got to keep it forever now, Yeah, the Fluence, Brian Johnson, you're right, the Fishman Fluence pickups are crazy. The only thing I don't like about it is the first time I've ever had active pickups. I'm just not digging having a battery in my guitar, but it is what it is. Yeah, Lawn Dog. He is a really good guy. And, Diana's great. They're just great. They're really fun. I've been in a lot of shows with them. The first time I went to New York, I hung out with them. The second time I went to New York, it was really funny. I didn't really have plans of what I was going to do. And he called me. He's like, man, if you sit in my booth and hang out with me for the week, I'll pay for your flight and your hotel. I'm like, get a pen. We're in. And I just hung out in the booth with him the whole time. He's just really a fantastic guy. Drew B, good to see you, man. Have a good day. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up. It's been going on long enough. Does anybody have any last questions? You're right, Deshaun. Do I have any original songs, Johnny? Vodka Studios. Yeah, I have a bunch. But here's the problem. I don't know how to read music. I mean, I can do tab. I don't write out tablature, so I've been playing guitar for a long time. I remember a move I did about 15 years ago. I moved and I found a box of songs I've written. But I can't, because I don't write music, and I didn't record them, all there are now is a box of poems, essentially. But now I've written a bunch. I just haven't, mostly music right now. I haven't really put any words to it. But. All right, guys, you guys are all awesome. I appreciate you more than you know. Yeah, I don't tell you enough. Thank you so much for every day I get up and get to feel like a kid playing a dream. And it's because of you guys. So thank you for affording me this opportunity. I love you and indebted to you all forever. Okay? Have a great... there's not going to be a late night snack time tonight. This is taking place in the late night snack time. However, I will join you guys tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, I'm going to come up with a way... I'm going to figure out some logical way to do a giveaway for these two. And all the stuff that was done in the auction, these guys here, they're going to be mailed out tomorrow. Love you guys a lot. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Johnny Scoville. This was Chase the Heat.